Hi guys, welcome. So this is an DIY how to make your own body powder, setting powder, to smell nice, to help absorb sweat, and they charge an arm and a leg for this at stores like a Victoria's Secret or something like that. And there's no need when you can do it right at home. Now, everything I'm about to tell you, you are going to do as I say, not as I do. Because the biggest mistake I made was doing this indoors. You are going to want to do this outdoors. It's messy. I didn't only do it indoors. I decided I'd do it in my bedroom while I was watching TV. So I now have a new appreciation for anybody that does content because, wow, you learn quick. So common sense was not in the factor with this today. But for the sake of the fact that I have a huge mess to clean, and this really isn't the best video to do step by step, I'm just going to put my cheaters on, give you the facts, and tell you what to get, and I'm going to show you what the finished product's going to look like, because this was a mess. So, cheaters? Okay, first thing, what you're going to want to get. This is important. The great thing about this DIY setting powder is that it's so affordable. I got most of the things I needed at the dollar store. I mean, you guys, you can smell amazing for really cheap. So the first thing you're gonna wanna get is baby powder. Now, I got the Johnson's baby powder for a reason. If you see this blue label down below, it's because it was made with cornstarch, not talc. I'm gonna get into why that's important. If you cannot find that, that's okay. Get baby powder, but you are going to need to get cornstarch. This is very, very important. I'm going to get into that. The other thing you're going to need, and this is really important, your baking soda. This is your stinky fighter. This is key. So, last three things you're gonna need. You're going to need a container to keep this in. I went to the dollar store and got these cute jars, these jugs here, something like this. I got it for $1.25. You could get something like a big sugar sprayer with the metal tops, and you could sprinkle powder if you wanted to. But it's up to you on what you want to put it in. But I suggest you make it large. And I looked high and wide for one of those big Hollywood body buffer powder things. I couldn't find one, but it's actually good that I didn't, because come to find out after researching this, they're not recommended because they end up, you end up losing more product than you put on. They poof it everywhere. So what I was told to get is like any kind of microfiber cleanser, because I'll tell you why. But let me get my facts straight here. So, as I said, the Johnson baby powder, you want to get that with cornstarch because cornstarch is natural. It's highly porous. Talc has not only health concerns, but it sits heavy on your skin. The cornstarch is shaped like tiny sponges, so it absorbs 3 times its weight in skin oil and sweat. So that's key to smelling nice. Now, the biggest thing, the baking soda. The baking soda is alkaline chemical compound. It's natural. It's a natural odor neutralizer, which is why we use it in our fridge, in any place that's humid, or it just absorbs odor. So sweat doesn't smell. Bacteria breaking it down does. And baking soda alters and stops the bacterial reaction. So you want that in your powder. Otherwise, you're just, putting lipstick on a pig, if you will. You don't want perfume over a stank. So, key. So now, this is important. When you pick your scent, you do not want scents with alcohol or synthetic fragrances and water. This will instantly dissolve your starch and your powder, make it clumpy, and the alcohol is 100% alcohol and it's concentrated. So What you want to, in the videos that I'd seen, the reason why I said you want to watch my video is that I've seen people getting scented powders, tossing them in, and then getting shaving oils and all these other oils and tossing it in. And all of that is going to clump together. And none of that is actually going to fight off smelling or body sweat or smell from the summer or the heat. You're just making like a kindergarten concoction. This will actually work. So what you want, I have 3 oils that I had here at home, and they're Arabian. They are 100% alcohol free, and they smell absolutely delicious. So my first scent that I have is Choco Musk. I have pistachio, and I have Yara, which is a perfume roll-on I have that I will put in the notes who this is by. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but it smells delicious. You're gonna get a scented oil, body oil, that does not have alcohol or synthetic fragrance. Your next step is do not pour it directly into the bottle. That is just going to create clumps. You want to have these cotton rounds. They're thin. You can douse these in the scent, and you're going to stick them right in the middle of all of our concoction and let it sit for 24 hours. And the cornstarch, the baking soda, it's all going to suck that smell right out, shake it up, and it's going to dispense it throughout the powder. Where if you use something else that has the ingredients I was saying not to use, it would just be clumped up. And some of it would smell, some of it wouldn't. And it would be a nightmare to put on. So, last but not least, how do we put said powder on? Now, I believe I was just saying earlier, I looked everywhere to find one of those big Hollywood body puffs, and I couldn't find one. But what I did find are these 2 microfiber facial cleansing pads at the dollar store. Now, let me tell you why these are a gold mine for this, why I hit pay dirt. The microfiber applicator, that's what these are. It's polyester microfibers. They refuse to hold water or liquid moisture, meaning they're not going to pick up the sweat when I'm putting it on my body. But they're better, and they're a cleaner applicator. So when that poof comes out and all that powder comes out everywhere when you want to put it on, it's only going to take that powder and it's going to adhere to it, and it's going to go, you're going to roll it right onto your skin, no problem. And you get to save what you're not only put all your work into, but what you just bought also. You do not want to have this stuff everywhere. Trust me. And I'm going to show you why right now. But first, once this is all said and done, so you've got your baby powder layered, okay? Now, more importantly, the most important part, 2 cups to start with. This all depends on the size. Actually, you know what? Let's start with 1 cup, because it all depends on the size of the vessel you're using for it. So you're going to double what I say depending on the size of the vessel. But it's going to be 1 cup baby powder to 1 cup cornstarch to 1 tablespoon of baking soda. That's just the formula. So if you have something bigger, double it. 2 cups, 2 tablespoons. Okay, do you see what I'm saying? Etc. Now, for the 1 cup, you would want 2 to 3 of those rounds soaked in your scent, both sides. You want to, if you're using a roller ball, roll them both. If you're using another oil, you can get the top off of and douse them. You want to get them nice and absorbed in your scent. And you're going to take those rounds and you're going to push them right in the middle of this concoction. Once that's pressed down and everything's in there, you're going to put the top on really tight, and you're going to shake the heck out of this thing for a good 60 seconds. At least. You want everything mixed, and you want that scent getting on every particle in there. Once that's done, do not open that lid. You want this to sit for 24 hours. And in those 24 hours, the cornstarch, the baking soda, the powder is going to suck that scent completely out of those rounds. And it's just going to be left with scented powder. You're not going to have any clumps. It's going to adhere to your body. You're not going to have a mess, and you're going to smell delicious. Trust me, you're going to love this for the summer. You're going to love it for any season, but especially the summer. So, like I said, this is a cute vessel I got for $1.25. And thank God I did think to get two, because as I was doing this in my room, I decided, thinking that 1 cup wouldn't be enough, and did 2 cups, not thinking about how it would be 2 cups of cornstarch on top. So that was overflowing. So luckily, I ended up now with 2 of these. But you want to pick whatever you're going to put it in carefully as to how much you want. But the biggest thing that I'm going to end this video with is do this outside. So just an idea of what I thought would be a good idea to do in my bedroom. Okay, pushing everything to the side, and I'm going to give you just a little sneak peek of what I get to do when I'm done with this video. So if you look over here, here, I have enough powder to open up my own company right now all over my room. So I would suggest doing this as an outdoor activity, or maybe even in the kitchen where you could wipe things down easily. Common sense was not a factor in making this video. So, like I said, do as I say, not as I do. But I'm telling you, you're going to smell amazing. And this cost you a small fortune at like a Victoria's Secret or something. And you probably wouldn't even have the smell as long as you will with this. So do not do what the other videos are showing you, which is some scented powder with some scented oil, and shake them up and get a poof and put it all over your body. It's not going to work. It's wasting your time, waste your money, and it makes a mess. Follow the rules that I just put down, and you will have an unbelievable scented body setting powder. So I hope that was something fun. I will do a quick short to kind of summarize this if nobody feels like watching this whole video. But thanks a lot for watching it. I think you'll be excited with the final product. And I appreciate your time. I hope you have a great night.